I'm Steve Johnson, News Director for theDove TV. Check out our other videos and visit our website at thedove.us. Thanks.
Welcome back, and always a delight to have in the studio with us today Robin Fuller. She is the Executive Director of the Grants Pass Pregnancy Care Center, and just a delight to have her around. Coming up tomorrow, the 42nd anniversary of Roe versus Wade. I said earlier, Robin, I look forward to the day where we don't come together on January 22nd to commemorate that decision, but we come together to celebrate that it's been overturned.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
You know.
Wow.
And let's just keep praying and believing for that, you know.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all you do, but you have a need. Let's talk about it. You need a couple of nurses.
Well, right now, yeah, we are really looking for some volunteer nurses to come work with us one day a week and do pregnancy testing and possibly eventually learn ultrasound along with us. So we're looking for those nurses who can volunteer and give one day a week.
In Grants Pass. So what do they do?
Absolutely.
Where do they call?
They call 479-6264.
Right.
Call me, find me on Facebook. I'll absolutely talk to anyone.
All right. So you nurses that are driving this morning, you just came under conviction and the Lord's tapping you on the shoulder. Give Robin a call and volunteer over there and be a part of a great organization and save babies. All right. Hey, our new legislation, our legislature is in session, and Oregon went more blue while the country went more red. Are you worried for our causes?
Well, we have battled as pregnancy centers in Oregon 3 different times, 2007, 11, and 13, legislation targeting our centers. And it's the same legislation and the same accusations that have been around for 25 years that I've been involved in pregnancy center work. So, and we know, we've already seen in writing that it's coming again against pregnancy centers. There's a petition that has been circulating off and on about pregnancy centers for the last couple years. They have sent, when I say they, it's Planned Parenthood as a large organization and NARAL, or Pro-Choice America, NARAL. And they send in fake clients to try to gather information, anything they can get to gather accusations against us. And the accusations are lies. They say that we receive huge amounts of government funding, that our advertising is misleading, that we're trying to lure women in with fake deceptive practices, so then we completely prevent her from choosing abortion, which is so not true. Our centers and our organizations are there really based on love, and we believe that women are so smart that if we give them all the information, that we don't have to try to talk them into choosing life. Right. Many of them will do that.
You know, everybody, I never forget, I was running for Congress. I was in some forum and loaded with rooms and candidates and the media and everything else. I think it was in Baker City. Also, I was way over there somewhere. And this issue came up, and they said, okay, Atkinson, where are you on the abortion issue? And I said, I'm pro-choice. I thought you could have heard a pin drop in the room and people fall out of the chair. So they knew I wasn't. And I said, every time there is informed choice, women make the right decision.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's how I explained it. But it did shake things up for a few moments. But that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is. And you know, I will be the first one to admit that most of the people working even in the abortion industry are good people.
Yeah.
They really believe they're doing something good. It's more the corporate politics, the corporate Planned Parenthood, and the corporate NARAL who have the agenda of shutting our doors. And the reality is, even in the state of Oregon, there are 42 pregnancy center locations, and we help over 40,000 women every year with, you know, over $1 million worth of free services. We're helping women be great parents. We're helping youth choose abstinence. We're helping women right in the midst of that crisis with information they really need. And the worst thing that can happen out of the information we give is a baby's born.
That's the worst thing that can happen.
You know, and so a new life is always a reason to celebrate.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to work with our legislators to let them know who we are, what we do, trying to get the truth to them. Because it's interesting that even Planned Parenthood and NARAL, they still call us crisis pregnancy centers. We haven't called ourselves that for more than 15 years. you know, we are pregnancy centers, we are pregnancy help clinics, we are pregnancy medical centers, we are, so it's interesting that you know, they're still back in old times and don't really know who we are and what we're doing.
The battle continues, but some of the numbers are turning.
Yes.
Abortions are down.
The numbers in Oregon are down a lot, but I also kind of suspect, you know, we now have Plan B, emergency contraception. How does that play into those numbers? Women are still choosing abortion, and they're still doing it in pretty desperate situations. It's not just that young teenager choosing, but it's women in really hard situations. And you know, there are just times when you look at what's going on with their lives, and it's, yeah, if they choose life, it's going to be really hard, a hard road for them.
All right, again, I just want to say, if you are a nurse around the Grants Pass area and you have some extra time, you can volunteer. They need your help there at the Grants Pass Pregnancy Center. So what you do is get a hold of Robin, and she'll give you all the details, but maybe you can volunteer a couple of hours or maybe a day a week or whatever.
Yeah, and they need to have their current RN license for the state of Oregon. And a lot of times it's a great way. In the past, we've had nurses who maybe are at-home moms. They want to keep their nursing hours up. It's been a great way for them to keep their hours and stay current.
Have you been able to sniff out if there are any hidden agendas with this legislature? It's something that could pop up besides going after pregnancy centers. But I mean, is there anything on the life issue that you're concerned about?
Well, you know, we have people looking all the time. The last round of legislation, they didn't even use the word pregnancy center in the bill. But the way the bill was worded, it would target only pregnancy centers.
Wow.
So they're very, very deceptive in what they're doing. So, you know, we're up there in Salem, and we're trying to just be as personal as we can. God has really come through for us each time. And what has happened is I had a board member years ago when I was the director of a center in Sacramento, and I remember when I was introduced to the very first legislation down there that could have shut our doors, and this board member said, you know what, you don't run, you don't hide, you just make yourself better. So we're trying in Oregon to really be united, and all of our centers communicating and working with each other, and it's making all of us better, so it's a good thing.
You have one of the most active pregnancy care centers around. How busy were you last year?
We served through all of our programs probably about 3,500 people.
Wow.
Our abstinence program reached over 2,000 students. And then we had the silver ring thing on top of that, where we had probably 750 students and 250 parents. And then we have our medical clinic that, you know, serves, and then we have our abortion recovery program, and we're just pretty much rocking and rolling over there, and it's pretty awesome.
It is. The message is getting out to young people. I'm seeing some encouraging signs and numbers. You must feel pretty good about that, especially with the silver ring thing.
Well, you know, I think what we really see is our abstinence programs are really interactive with the kids. It's not somebody just standing up there talking. The one that we have, our EPIC program in the classroom, we're talking with the kids, and we're trying to get them to own it. This is your life. Who do you want to be? Kind of like that Switchfoot song. But really, who do you want to be? What are your goals? If you don't have goals, maybe you should think about it. How do you think you're going to get there? And the kids are really receptive to that. And we know that a one-time talk or even a week-long talk won't necessarily change their mind, but seeds are planted. And they may remember that. And it's never too late to choose abstinence is one of our messages. So even if they do engage in sexual activity, they can always choose abstinence and come back to that.
Well, tomorrow's a big day, 42nd anniversary of Roe versus Wade, and I heard 54, 58, what is it, million? What is it, 58 million?
I think so.
I think it's 58 million babies have been lost, didn't get a chance to live through abortion. It's unbelievable. And even though the numbers are turning in the right direction, we got to completely stop this.
Well, and the thing that's crazy is Oregon is the only state in the nation that has absolutely zero restrictions on abortion. We're the only state. And so even when it comes to whether it's pregnancy centers helping to defend us, whatever it is, I heard David Crow yesterday talking, and we have this apathy going on. Mm-hmm. And it's really going to take people. If this bill, once we finally find it, or it's discoverable, or it comes out, a bill against pregnancy centers, which we've been told is coming, we're going to need people to mobilize. Mm-hmm. And not just for us, but there will most likely be other bills with the current makeup of our legislature. We need,
and that is scary.
We need people out there. We need you.
Yeah, it's scary because first of all, Oregon went more blue. Secondly, we were unable to get the 125,000 signatures, mm-hmm. which is, to me, is just inexcusable. And those are figures that are on the table that makes me worried, because if this bill does service, do we have the manpower? More importantly, do we have the conviction behind the manpower to stop it?
Right. Well, we're hoping to talk to even those who are for abortion and let them know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. The lies against us they're just not true.
Yeah.
And to help them see all the good that we're doing in our communities. And we don't receive government funding, which is one of the biggest things that is set against us. So few centers nationwide have ever gotten government funds, and those who have, it's been for abstinence education years ago.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you, sweetie, for what you do and the hard work, and your team. You guys are wonderful over there. And by the way, again, I just really hope if you're a nurse in and around the Grants Pass area, and you have some hours in your week that you can volunteer. Maybe you got a day. Maybe you're on a short work week. You can volunteer a day. Whatever the combinations are, get a hold of Robin there at the Pregnancy Center, 479-6264. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, 479-6264. And you need at least 2.
Yes.
And you got to be a current RN.
Yes.
And you possibly will be trained on the ultrasound?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Possibly.
Then what do you do? Get certified for that? Is that what happened?
Yeah, they have to do a certain number of ultrasounds under a registered diagnostic medical sonographer and receive lots of training.
Yeah.
So it's not a simple thing, but we sure appreciate you and what you guys do for us.
We're behind you. And anyway, I also want to remind you, tomorrow night, at 7 o'clock, Jackson County Right to Life has changed their time and venue. This year's celebration and commemoration has been moved indoors and to the evening. They'll be using the facility of the First Baptist Church in Medford, and it'll be at 7 o'clock. So entirely different venue for them this year, going from that cold courthouse step
absolutely
inside. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you.
And just always a reminder too that we've got the pregnancy center here in Medford as well. So
right here,
help them out
with Cindy. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.